welcome to a little teaser from InEconomics about some future things that we're planning, some conversations. You might recall, if you're familiar with these video podcasts, that Saul Eslake and I have had some interesting conversations on various subjects that have been topical in the lead up to the elections. In particular, we had a couple of sessions that looked at the passage by a Chinese Navy task group to the east of Australia, which then circumnavigated and went round the bottom and up the west coast and back towards China. And a little after that happened, there was a Chinese survey ship that passed from the Tasman Sea through the Bass Strait across the bottom of Australia to do some survey operations off Western Australia and then head as well. I wanted to add for your information two pieces of fact that have come to my attention since that time. And the first is this: in respect of the Chinese Navy task group that circumnavigated Australia, I was recently at a dinner at the Australian Naval Institute where the guest speaker was the Chief of Defence Force, Admiral David Johnson. And he made some comments about the extent of Australia's surveillance of the PLA Navy task group that circumnavigated Australia, which gave me great confidence that even though people may have considered that we, Australia, were doing nothing about that, we certainly were keeping that task group under surveillance by a variety of means at Australia's disposal to know exactly where they were, where the ships were at all times. And I think that should hopefully give people some calm that we didn't do nothing. We knew exactly what was going on, and had we needed to do something, then there were many options at our disposal. So that's the first point. The second point I wanted to make in clarification on the survey ship's activities were that the ship itself had its automatic identification system turned on throughout its passage, and so we knew exactly where it was all the time, as did the international shipping community. We knew exactly where it was, we knew what course and speed it was on, and we also knew what the weather was like as it made its passage across the bottom of Australia, and the weather was not particularly good. And it's easy to conclude from that it's very unlikely under the circumstances, the ship's speed and the weather, that it would have been at all possible for that ship to be conducting any survey operations at all. So it's reasonable to conclude that that survey ship simply made an innocent passage within the strict confines of the United Nations Conventions on the Law of the Sea. International Straits Transit regime applied as it went through Bass Strait, and it would appear that the ship complied and was completely open about what it was doing via its automated information and tracking system. And here at InEconomics, we have some further interesting conversations that are under planning, which we'll bring to you. The likely topics there could be perhaps things like the AUKUS nuclear submarine program. We're in a post-election world now with a newly installed Labor government with a very much increased majority in the House and some challenges in the Senate. We will be interested to see what they do and how much energy they have about doing some of the things that various members of InEconomics think they should do, and we'll have perhaps some conversations about that. There's also been very interesting statements recently about defence spending associated with the Shangri-La dialogue in Singapore over the last few days, 30th of May through to the 1st of June, and in particular some comments that were made by United States Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth. So we'll be talking about those, and we hope you'll join us. If you'd like to be notified when those video podcasts are available, there will be a subscribe button appear at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Press that and you'll get advance warning of those podcasts when they arrive.